Thank you. Thank you very much. There'll be a tip under the seat for that. So welcome to OnSet. I am Daniel. I'm here today to do a demo of photography, right? We do this every once in a while. Justin's over here, looking good. Seth's over there on the mighty mix. We got Profoto in the back. If you have any questions, ask Eric. He specifically wants to tell you the flash duration at various settings of an old flash they don't make anymore. That's exactly what he wants to answer right now.
We're going to need T1 curves.
Right, exactly. All right. Anyways, that was good. The T1 curves. All right, that's the best joke of the night. We're done. Anyways, we come, when I was first starting, a couple of years ago, every photographer I worked for, you would show up on set and they'd be like, we're going to do a portrait. Oh, I'm going to move this. We're going to do a portrait. Set up a softbox. We're going to do product photography. Set up a softbox. We're going to do this. Everybody set up softboxes. So when I went out on my own, I was like, I'm not going to use softboxes. Plus, back then, softboxes were really expensive. They're not like they are now. And I was like, I'm going to use other alternatives. So for the first several years of my career, I mostly worked not with softboxes. Now, of course, I use them a lot because, I got the cash now. I'm just like, but every once in a while, we got to do a demo. When we use other things besides softbox. Nowadays, you buy a kit, they give you an octagon. Remember when octagons were super expensive? You'd be like, you got an octagon?
No, that. The rotating speed ring was a lot of money. Do you remember that?
Right. You'd have to take the light off and put it back on. Forget about that half-tilted thing. But anyways, we're going to mess around with things that aren't softboxes. We're going to talk about making some portraits. We're going to do what we always do. If you have questions, please do ask. I will attempt to name the gear as I go, but I probably will forget. So if you have a question about gear, let me know. This is the camera. Didn't feel very tight. This is the camera I'm going to be using. It's a Nikon Z6ii 24 to 120 lens. This is my demo lens. Well, it's really the only lens I ever use, but it's my demo lens because it's just very versatile. There's lots of lenses that you might choose for a portrait, 63 millimeter, for instance, but in my case, this is the one I'm going to use. All right, here we go. So the first non-softbox that we're going to start with is something that's also pretty common, which is some kind of a hard reflector. You could do we should use a zoom reflector. See, I changed my mind as we go. No, we'll use a beauty dish. We're going to use a beauty dish, which I find to be a really good hard source when you're shooting a single subject. So typically with the beauty dish, by the way, if you don't know what a beauty dish is, this is one right here. This is 22 inches. Somebody's going to ask that. Somebody asks every single time. With few exceptions, beauty dishes are roughly 20 some odd inches. This is kind of the standard size. What was that? Remember that company? Was it Mola? Mola used to make all the ways different size. But most people, 20, this is the size of beauty dish.
Mola made anything you could weld something to.
Right, exactly. So what makes a beauty dish kind of interesting is its depth. And also in the center of a beauty dish is what they call a deflector. That's to prevent a hot spot. But what we've got here is a kind of a punchy, solid, it's a solid light. It's going to give us kind of a hard light. This right here is white on the interior. So it's going to be real gentle because a lot of times people will ask, what do you do if somebody's got, shine because it's hot out or they just happen to be sweaty, they're by shiny skin naturally or they're wearing makeup. And if you've got a reflector that's white on the inside, that will help with that because it will help make the light more diffuse. So we're going to start with this white beauty dish. Normally I use a silver one, so it'll be a nice change. And we'll start here. So we also have a white Magnum, which is really my favorite. Okay. So I'm going to think about, I don't normally do this, so it'll be different today. I'm going to actually think ahead about what we might do here. So, because it's a small space, right? As the last 7 demos have said. And we're going to want to put a few lights up, right? We're going to want to light the background stuff. So I'm going to move Justin up a bit to maybe right there. That's good. Over a little bit so he's more in the center. Perfect. And now he's more or less where he needs to be. I've got some space behind him, right? Also, I'm very lazy and I don't want to carry this very far, and it was right here. So you see how I did that?
Move the subject.
Move the subject to the left. Right. Exactly. Now, what's nice here is that normally with the beauty dish, I might swing it overhead and put it in the center. That's because I'm normally using this when I photograph female subjects. If you are photographing and you want this strong, intense beauty shot, but you want it to be even on the face, you want the light to be more or less in the center. With the male subject or a more masculine shot, oftentimes we want to throw some shadow across the face. So again, I'm going to just put the light to one side. Also, I don't have to carry it as far, so all this works out really well. So I'm going to tilt it a little bit. Whenever you're placing your light, if you want to get kind of, people always ask me how far away, so I will just answer that question now. A good place to start is the size of the light source in distance from your subject. Okay, so I measured that with my eyes. It's roughly that far away. This will give us a kind of the baseline of where this light would be. We want the center of the light above his eyes, and right here, we're just going to kind of cast a hard-ish light across his face, which will give some shadow. It is equipped with a grid because grids cost more, and I like to show off. But the grid will help narrow the spread of light.
Yeah. Execution.
It's important to, what's that? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I know. Seth caught me screwing off. One thing that's important is that, I joke a lot because I get real nervous. You guys are staring at me. My mom's watching. But oftentimes people will ask a lot of questions, like when you're on a shoot, what does this do? What is it for? And it's fun to kind of be lighthearted with it. So that's just kind of, you keeping the banter up. I mean, I don't talk to Justin because we've had issues in the past. No, but, just kind of keep the conversation going. The hardest thing to do when you're standing there as a subject is to see the photographer move stuff around and be like, oh, God, That's going to make them think they're doing something wrong. So explaining what you're doing as you're doing it is a good idea anyways. So get in the habit of doing it. Next thing you know, you might be a YouTuber. Okay. So first we're going to start off, as Seth said, by shooting a black frame. So what that means is we're going to remove all the light in the space with our shutter speed, aperture, and ISO combo. That is, we're going to shoot. Oh, no, it's level. Okay. We're going to shoot with the fastest shutter speed that we can sync with the flash, not using high-speed sync, because that's a different demo. The lowest ISO within the normal range to give us the best quality as far as noise. And then we're going to just adjust our aperture so that we don't get any light coming into the lens from all of these beautiful lights that Seth spent a long time setting up, and he'll spend hours telling you about it if you ask him. So when we take this shot, which is currently at 100 ISO, 200th of a second, f8 and be there, I just made that up. If you Google that, you'll see that I made that up. What you guys are black. The thing is, it is in reference to kind of the flash, right? So
they're asking already if you can show both with and without the grid.
With and without the grid.
That's extra, guys.
It's extra for that.
Tip jar is in effect.
Right. Go to my Ko-fi. So we'll start wearing a shirt with a QR code. All right, so we're gonna.
All right, I know it's raining out. It's been a long day, but we got to do a demo here, Dan. I'm not paying you to screw around. Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna move over our exposure until we start to see some skin tone. That's about 3 stops there. So we know we're about 3 stops underexposed. That's basically our baseline for the shadow, right? So we know that any light that we don't create from the beauty dish is gonna effectively be black where there's no light. This is with the grid. Justin's looking good. Hold on. I think we changed my focus last time. I only ever use my camera when I'm here. Nope, that's metering. Yeah, I think I changed it last time. Yeah, there we go. I want to put it on the one that's for cats. Oh, no, for people. Okay. All right, here we go. No flash. I was testing you guys.
It'd be amazing if he did that and he just shot and came up as a cat.
This light right here is in my A group. So to be serious, I'm using a remote here. We're going to use something called TTL. TTL means through the lens metering. But that's a lot to say. It's cooler to be like TTL. So also the name of a show that we have on NRM TV for a long time, so which is very good. Anyways, what that's going to do is sometimes people will say, well, you're shooting an automatic. Kind of, but the camera is not an automatic. That's the important part. We're controlling our exposure completely manually. What's happening is we're using an automatic process. That is, a tiny little photo assistant is running out from our remote and communicating with the light and coming right back, right? This saves us $250 a day for a photo system. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're a tiny bit underexposed. Whenever you're underexposed or overexposed, just blame the subject. Oh, it's got to be your skin. No, so the way I know it's underexposed is I can look at him and I can see that it looks a little bit dark, right? Because how else am I really going to know if it's under or overexposed, right? You could, you put a chart in there, but I don't know about you. If I was sitting for a portrait, I wouldn't want people shoving charts in my face. I could just look at it and go, well, it's a little dark. Since I want to know how much to adjust it, the simplest thing for me to do, actually, I should probably make sure I was in TTL.
It's always a good sign when
I was not TTL.
Up.
So this is not my gear. That was the last manual setting. So clearly whoever shot this light last time was not using a beauty dish from 22 inches away with Justin. So let's try that again. All right, there we go. Now he's overexposed. Well, there we go. Somewhere in the middle is good. All right, so here is, we can see this. So I'll do exactly what I was going to do before, except with the overexposure. So we did the TTL. We can see it's a little bit overexposed, right? Now, to know how much, right, we're going to need, the best way to do it is to look at the image. This is one reason why I shoot tethered. So I'm going to grab that same exposure slider that I did before, and I'm just going to drag it over until it starts looking. And the part that I'm really concerned about is this part of his face, right? This is basically what the light's hitting primarily, so that's my exposure, right? So that's what I want to really look at. So I'm looking at that, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit, and I think about there. Okay? So there's a few ways we could adjust this. Now, right now, here's an important thing. If you're in Capture One, typically it's going to apply whatever you do to the next image. So I did this to see what I need to make a change. I need to clear that, because if I don't and I make the change of the light too, it's going to be double done, right? So I'm going to go here, go back where we were, and we're going to lower the power of the light. Now we're going to go to manual. It's at 8. I want to lower it by 7/10 of a stop. So I'm going to go 7.3. 7.2 sounds cooler, so I'm going to go 7.2. We're going to take another shot. And miraculously, he looks great. And there you go. Easy. We'll see you next time. No, so there we go. Simple beauty dish, right? What's the difference between this? I know they want to see it without the grid. What's going to be the difference between this and a softbox, right? That's what we're going to start asking ourselves every time we do this. So the beauty dish is going to be a little bit punchier. That is to say, it's going to have a little more contrast than the similar size softbox at a similar distance. That's because we're talking about a flat metallic surface versus double diffusion that you're often going to have with the softbox. So the light is less scattered. So it's a little bit punchier. When I say punchy, I'm talking about skin tone, not shadow. Hardness and softness is determined by size of the source. Punchiness or diffusion versus specularity is by the quality of the light, right? So here we've got a white beauty dish, which is a little bit diffused, but it's not going to be as diffused as, let's say, a softbox. I could put a diffuser sock on this, but then we'll lose the quality of the grid as well. So what we got here is kind of a simple, easy, dramatic shot. And we can see that because we have a grid on it, which again is giving us a lot of control, there's also a very tight grid. Most grids for softboxes are 40 degrees. This is 25 degrees, 10 degrees. It's 10 degrees. So it's much tighter. Are you sure?
Oh, those are 25. I'm looking at it. 25.
25 degrees. He's trying to trick me. All right. Never listen to the rep. All right. So 25 degrees. So we're a bit tighter, right? So you've got a little bit of a difference there. Also, I mean, this is more kind of minor, but it's also more narrow than a softbox. So it's going to take up less space, right? So all that's true. What we're getting with the grid is the fact that we have the background's nice and dark on this side. We have that fall off right across his chest, almost spotlighting him. That's because of the grid. If I remove the grid, it's going to spread out more, which we definitely could do. Like, let's say that you weren't as cool as me, and you were like, oh man, grids are expensive, so I'm going to give up the coolness factor.
Man, look how cool he is taking that grid off. Wow. Man, am I watching Grease or am I watching a demo? What's going on here? What's going on?
Grease. Grease is your baseline for cool?
Looking at you, yeah, I had to do something easy.
All right.
Look how cool.
Now I see Seth like at his apartment, like on his bed singing musicals.
West Side Story every night. Every night. Starlight Express all the time.
All right. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit, boom, like that. Okay, so this here is without the grid, right? So we can see, again, it's also still, it's hot again.
And you're not in TTL, right?
I'm also not in TTL because once again, that's what you get for, this is, like my teachers would tell me, that's what you get for trying to be a funny guy. All right, let's try that again. Pretend that didn't happen.
So what happened is that grid is eating up light, right? He takes that grid off, same power, isn't getting eaten up by the grid, overexposed, right?
That's right. Anything that you put light through is going to reduce the amount of light. Also, it's going to change the quality of the light. So I went back to TTL, so I'm remetering. There we go.
Yeah.
Without the grid, the meter likes that better. Now we can see the difference here. I'm actually going to make a slight change, and I'll tell you why.
Because you're so cool.
Because I'm cool.
You're so cool. I'm sorry for this demo, everyone. It's a rough night.
So let's say Justin comes in, and he's like, hey, how many looks do I get for my, $27 that I charge for headshots? And I'm like, I'll give you 2 looks. Done. That's why I can do it for $27. All right. So the grid adds contrast, so we can see a bit of the change to shadow from neutral is quicker. It's got a little bit more of a contrast going on there, as opposed to it's a little more diffused here. We can see that, right? Now, the one change that I would make with this automatically, which I did not do, is I would raise this light a little bit. The thing when you're using a grid, you want to make sure that the center of the light is right on the person's face. But typically when I'm lighting a subject, and let's say it's about them and not necessarily about his shirt, and his shirt is a lighter tone, or could reflect lighter now that I see it. If I raise the light up a little bit, it won't hit his shirt as much. So I'll probably raise this light a tiny bit. I'm still in TTL.
You got a question.
Okay, we've got a question.
It's a little off topic, but
Off-topic question, my favorite kind.
asking, what about putting a Fresnel in front of a softbox, combining hard and soft? I'm guessing you're saying stacking 2 lights and not just putting a Fresnel glass in front of a softbox.
Okay, so that's a fun technique. And what you have to understand is when you take, like, let's say a small hard light and you shoot it at somebody, and then you put a softer light behind it, all you're really doing is filling in, right? So you can do that if you want this punchy light, but you want fill, but you want it to come in from the same direction of your main light, as opposed to, let's say, a fill. Normally, if I was filling a hard light like that, like Fresnel, I would do it from the camera's direction, right? But maybe I don't want fill on the whole face, right? I don't want fill on the shadow side. I just want kind of this overall fill on the main side. That's why I might do that. So that's a fun technique. All right, let's do this again with the light a little bit higher. All right. Okay. Look at that. Kind of lighthearted and comical. I'm in TTL still. Might actually bring it down a smidge. I like it there. You like it there, right? All right, 4. So again, I'm gonna switch. It's at 7. So I'm gonna bring it down to 6.7, which was the aperture of my first camera lens. Okay, look at that. Look at those eyes. Beautiful eyes. You've got beautiful eyes. You're welcome. All right. She said you're welcome. I can't answer for her, but I can. All right, so that's beautiful. Done, right? Nice and easy. You don't have to shoot these intense, beauty shots, right? With the makeup and with the beauty dish. The beauty dish is useful beyond that. You can shoot a lot of things with it. And I actually really like it for male subjects because I like a little bit of a punchier light often for a male subject. And beauty dishes by their nature are a relatively hard light. Now, again, I put it at the ideal distance, but we can put it closer. And what that will do, especially without the grid, it'll give us a little bit more control, but it'll also let it fall off a little faster. So let me just bring it a tiny bit closer. Get a little closer. Okay, there we go, perfect. You summoned it. Yeah, yes. Now, if you want to be cool.
Am I supposed to be cool?
No, them. You're never going to be cool. All right. No, he's always cool.
He's Fonzie. You're not. He's...
There we go. That's the understanding.
Look at this Zach Morris over here. Amazing.
I like that one. A little quirk, but actually it's a little bright because I moved the light closer. What happens when you move the light closer? You invoke. What do you invoke? The inverse square law. That's right. If you're playing photo demo bingo right now, check off inverse square law.
So,
all right. Am I the only one that ever says that anymore? Inverse square law? People must say it. Good. All right.
They're asking, how about now using any modifier and going bare bulb?
Okay. So now we've got a little tighter, a little bit more crispy with the shadows, right? But still nice and open because I've got no grid on it, right? I mean, am I going to get paid as much because I'm not using a grid? No. But you know what? That's fine. I don't have to make it's all not about money for me.
They're asking about bare bulb.
Okay, bare bulb. We could go there. Okay, so I'll ask this question. I do this oftentimes when somebody asks me a question about using a different modifier or whatever. And my first thought is, why? Bless you. Like, why would I use any modifier or no modifier at all? What is the reason to do bare bulb? Are you asking the question because you just want to see what it looks like? That is a fine reason, right? Because you're just trying to learn. Or maybe you just want me to do stuff because, you know, you like to tell Daniel to do stuff. But often you got to think about, well, what's this going to be? It's going to create this little tiny light source, right? It is going to be diffused because Profoto lights by their nature have the diffusion on it. So it's going to be punchy and hard. It's going to spread really far. Is that something we really want to use for this? It could be, you know, we could try that. But I feel like this wouldn't be what I would use for this because you're kind of, there's no real reason to me to do that. But I'm going to do that because there is a place where you might use a bare bulb. I was going to do it last, but you know, I can do things out of order. This is all well scripted, as everybody knows. All right. So let's say you're on a trip. You know, you're flying over to Austin, Texas, and they lose your luggage. Now, you, of course, packed in your carry-on one Profoto B10 because everybody does that.
Everybody.
But of course, the carry-on is too big to hold the beauty dish because you see the box for the beauty dish, right? That's actually the same case I used to carry my iMac in back in the day. Tethering into an iMac was like the, anyways. I've got this one light. So I show up, the CEO's here, and I'm like, oh yeah, so this is how I do it all the time. So I'm going to put it in TTL because confidence is important. I'm going to say, give me your best CEO. That's what you say when you're shooting a CEO. Okay.
Not a good CEO.
You know, not the best CEO I've ever seen. Weirdly, not the worst. Weirdly, not the worst.
It says
Yeah, there we
something
go.
like stock options?
All right. Hold on. Right.
CEO, lawyer.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's good. Okay. So we're gonna. There was this painter. There we go. Perfect.
I hate all of you. I want you to know that.
All right. Okay, so it's punchy. You can do it, right? It's slightly out of focus because I focus on his back eye, which you should never do. Photo 101 book.
Hold on.
That book from 1975 says.
The camera here.
Okay. All right, so now we're focused.
Whoa, yeah, whoa.
I decided not to focus at all, just to get back at you all. Let's try one more time. What is it? No, there we go.
Hey.
There it is. Okay. So this has all the typical vibe, right, of a hard light. You got really quick shadow. You got beautiful texture in his mustache, though. If this was for a mustache gel ad, perfect, right? Shadow on the wall.
You're going to sell me some paper towels. Look at this.
You know,
Karate guy.
what does this invoke, right? This invokes maybe natural hard light coming through a window, end of the day, right? We're shooting outside of a building or something, and let's say it's a bit cloudy or whatever, or we want to enhance it. This is where I might use something like this. In a kind of studio portrait, what we get is a shadow on the wall, and it kind of looks like a mistake, right? So, and obviously I could move it around and move the shadow, but this isn't the reason. This is the reason why I probably wouldn't go for this, because it's got a real intense feel that you want to bring in. Now, if I want to bring that in, we could go for it, but I just feel like in this space, that might not be the best option for us. But that's what bare bulb would look like. It still looks pretty darn good, you know? But here's the thing. Whenever I'm gonna shoot with the light with no modifier directly on it, what I generally go back to is one of my favorite modifiers, not this umbrella, although I do love this umbrella. Is that blocking the screen now? Let me. All right. So, you know, again, JetBlue, they lost your luggage. So, as they always do. But you go down to the local Bed Bath & Beyond, and you get a sheet, or Adorama, and you get a proper frame, right, with a piece of diffusion in it. This right here is one of my favorite options for when I'm just going to use like bare bulb, right? Because this is going to give you a large, right? This is large, right? And how do we know when something's large or small? It's relative to the subject, right? So we look at Justin's head. I mean, he's got a big head, but not like that, right? This is a big. So this is going to create a relatively large light source that's going to wrap around and give us what we like to refer to in the photo industry as soft light. I know, soft light. People love it. They're like, oh, could you produce some soft light? Oh, I could do soft light. Soft light is kind of like soft rock. You know, it kind of gets out of the way. People are okay with it. But if you look at too much of it, you'll be sleeping. So, no offense to Chris, who's the guy with the sailing?
Way to land that joke, Dan. Let's go. Wait.
Christopherson. No. That Christopherson's a country guy. You know who I'm talking about. Somebody Google it.
Only halfway through, guys. I'm just letting you know.
You can
Got a
make it, I
whole
swear.
half
All
of
right.
this time to go. Yeah.
All right. Now, we could sandbag this. You know, it would make people feel better about themselves. So whenever you're putting weight on a C-stand, it's important to put the weight out over the tall leg, which is this one. This is going to make it so that it's less likely to tip over. Now, you might think, well, hold on, though, wouldn't it tip this way? But really, they're designed to not do that. And if you're going to throw a sandbag on it, that's the leg you put it over. It doesn't seem like that's the case, but that's how you got to do it. So with this here, we can create a big overall soft look.
You got a million people
Christopher
saying
Cross.
Christopher
Yes,
Cross.
thank you. Thank you.
Does this for engagement. You're all sheep falling for this. I just need you to know that you're pushing his algorithm.
Make sure you hang out till the end of the video, and I'll give you the best tip. I've been doing this for a while. All right. So this is we've been just using the same light the whole time. Now I'm doing the one light demo. All right.
What are you doing anymore?
Nobody really knows. All right. So here we have this light. We have a silk. Now again, optimum distance, about the size of the silk away from him. We can get it closer. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna turn on the modeling light of the Profoto so we can see how it covers the silk. So we can see, I mean, for all the people that say that the light doesn't spread very far, we used to say that all the time because it doesn't have an open, I mean, it's down here. It spreads really far. I'm covering this entire silk. I'm hitting the wall over there, right? So you don't even need a lot of space to do this. In fact, I often will put a zoom reflector on. But, I don't think we do. I'll often do it, but I'm not going to do it. So we'll let a little spill over there. Sometimes it's nice just a little bit of light to spill. All right, so this is going to be a nice kind of soft light kind of coming across. This is remember, $27 a look. That's what we said, right? Or was it all the looks for it? Okay, all right, so we're adding them. Okay. All right, it's like 30-something dollars. All right. Yeah. So even in this case, I want my light source to feel like it's coming from above slightly so it feels more natural. So I'm going to raise it kind of so make sure it's over his head. I'm going to go back to TTL because I keep forgetting to do that. Oh, I already did it. Look at that. And we're going to take a shot. My TTL is getting screwed up because Eric's over here taking pictures.
Nice silk. Wow.
Look at that. What's up with my focus today?
Sorry, Dan. It's because I showed up. I brought you bad luck.
It did. You very bad luck. All right. It's on cat eyes or something.
Take it off the touch. All right.
All right. Oh,
Not that one. Not that one.
Oh, looks good.
Shut up. Look at me.
There we go. Thank you. That felt better. There we go. You schmized. Just a little bit.
Schmized,
It looks your other eye better for some reason. All right.
Sharp.
There you go. Now it's sharp. All right. Back to that. I remember the days of 35 millimeter where you couldn't zoom it in like that, so nobody knew they were out of focus. Okay. I submitted a mini and out of focus picture back in the day. Okay, so now we've got basically a soft light. Now again, soft light does not necessarily mean there's no shadows. What it means is that we've got this kind of creamy transition, right? When we look here, we've got this nice transition versus our punchy transition, let's say. Where's our brawny guy? All right, like there, that's similar face position. This one I know is out of focus, but you'll see the shadow. Oops, that switched it from the hand. Okay, you see the difference, the shadow there? I know it's out of focus, but versus this shadow, right? That right there is soft. That's why when somebody says soft light, that's what they're talking about. Doesn't mean that it's from a soft box, doesn't mean there's no shadow, doesn't mean that it's even. It means that the transition is gradual. So here we've got a nice soft light. The coverage, right? If we look at, for instance, how cool this is, right? And even this, right? This is an old Seth trick, by the way. Just show everything we've done so far, just so you see all that we've done. So we can see the difference here between all of these, and then when we come down to our nice softbox, right? It's kind of more soft, right? There we go. So the silk is really nice. Now we can do a lot of things with this. I can keep it here, which is great, but I can also move it in closer. I can move it further away. One of the reasons why I often use these is if I want to light somebody from far away, because size relative to your subject. If I take my little beauty dish and I have to put it 15 feet away to get it out of the shot, that's going to be tremendously hard. When I put this one 15 feet away, it's a liting bit softer, right? And same thing, I have bigger silks as well. So let's get it closer though. Good. Okay. So I got that in a little closer. And I can also move the light in closer if I want. And what that's going to do is make it not cover the entire silk, which, now this is not exactly what the question was earlier, but it has a similar kind of feel. The center of the light source is going to be punchier, right? But it's going to pick up a little bit of the light around it. So this is going to be your hard light with soft light fill. And we're going to get a similar look with that. We zoom in a little bit. Right? And now we've got this like soft, hard vibe, right? It's punchy. We can see the beautiful texture in his skin, right? That's what hard light gives you. And the eye texture. And then you can also see it's kind of the gradualness over here as we go into shadow, right? We've got this like little bit of feel going on. So it's this mix. So instead of using two lights, I'm able to get a similar thing basically with the one light. And of course I could put anything I want on this. I could put a Magnum reflector on it. I could put a beauty dish. It depends on how much you want to charge the client. You can reposition it over here. You know,
you get one good joke a year, Dan. That's
Well,
awesome. I love it.
it comes down to the, all right. And you see, by moving the box, the light rather within the thing, I've changed the lighting scheme. Now it's much punchier. Look at that. Right? And now, because we do want to, in fact, charge more, we can use more lights. I promised I would use this little tiny light. This is a Profoto A2. Right? Yeah, it's A2. A2, B2. A2, B30. I was trying to make a somewhat Star Wars joke. It didn't really come in. It go across anyways. I know. All right, so this guy is like little. It's in the C group. So these are great because they use the same battery as the on-camera flash. And they're just kind of nice if you want a portable light, a little small one. Travel type stuff. All right. So here I'm going to give a little bit of a kicker or separation light. And for that, we're going to use another softbox alternative. I think, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. The umbrella. I know. Umbrellas are one of those things that people just forget about unless it's raining. And they're really versatile. Now, the thing about an umbrella versus a softbox is that your light is going to spill more, right? Because we don't have the edges that the softbox has. This is a silver one, and it's shallow. So it's meant to kind of throw the light, right, in all directions. So we got this is also what I would refer to as a bounce umbrella. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think so. There we go. Ow. I guess it's the first time an umbrella's been in there. All right. It was quite tight. All right. I'm going to turn on the modeling light here. And we can see you can fill more or less of the umbrella, right? To get different effects. People love that. There's 1,000 YouTube videos on that. People will be like, oh, look at the different effect. It's huge. Okay. But, you know, you don't necessarily want your light to spill around. So we're going to bring this over here and use this like a separation light. And again, this is now, you know, again, bigger than his head, but further away. So probably about the size of his head. Silver, so it's specular. We're going to get a punch. Plus, any light coming from the back is always going to be more specular just by its nature. Specular by nature was the original name of Naughty by Nature, the band. I don't know. I'm just saying. This is in my C group. I'm just going to test. Yeah, okay. I'm in TTL. TTL is pretty good at just kind of making the shot work. And normally I do one light at a time, but you know, I'm feeling pretty bold. So we're just going to kind of go for it. Did you shrink?
Yeah, you're bold tonight.
No, you grew. I shrunk. There we go. I'm getting bold today. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. So now what we're getting here is, we may have to adjust a little bit because it's touching his nose, although I don't mind it. Some people don't like that. You're getting this like specular light coming from the back, showing beautiful skin tone, right? Kind of ripping forward, but we still have enough shadow line to kind of show that shape of the face. And then in addition to that, of course, we got the nice soft light over here. The gentle light, as we like to say. So we got punchy and we got gentle. We're contrasting them, right? And again, we can play with this. Where's that beauty dish? No, I'll just do barehead. People like barehead. So I'm going to go a little bit closer. Again, I'm in TTL. Good. There we go. A little punchier. Beautiful rim light. Beautiful subject. I mean, online, you guys don't know what Justin really looks like. No, but now we have this like, let me take a moment just like to appreciate my shot. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, man.
What am I supposed to use? Let me use the other umbrella. Here we go. Let's go full umbrella.
What is up to? Someone's having a good time.
Yeah, we're all just hanging out.
Look at the cringe in the chat. It's amazing.
It's a D&D joke.
Right. Yeah.
Would you rather it be boring? He could wear a vest full of pockets and say dumb, big, long words and boring if you'd like.
I could do that. All right. All right, here we go. So I'm going to bring this light back over here. Fill the modern light. And we're going to switch over to this stand.
It's saying never go full umbrella.
Here we go. All right. This is my favorite kind of umbrella. This is a translucent umbrella. That's what you say if you want to be fancy, or shoot-through umbrella. If you don't. Deep, right? This is going to allow, normally with this kind of umbrella, as you might guess by the name shoot-through, is we're going to point the umbrella at the subject versus away like this, right? So bounce, shoot through. This parabolic kind of mixing bowl shape is going to help us keep the light inside of it to give us more control. And we're going to get it nice and close. This is one of my favorite ways to shoot beauty. And as we've already noticed, Justin is quite a beauty.
It's also probably one of the most inexpensive modifiers you could probably grab is a shoot-through umbrella to get going.
That is the truth. So again, we've got our umbrella, beautiful fabric on it. This is a Profoto umbrella, by the way. Small, I think they call it small, deep, translucent. Is that what it's called? All right. Are you telling me the truth? Because you lied about the other thing. Okay. Do you even work for Profoto, sir? All right. Just had the Profoto shirt on, a bunch of gear.
I mean, if you think about it, we've never had actual confirmation that we've never seen credentials, just a t-shirt.
Right. But he brings gear, so we appreciate it. All right.
Well, yeah.
All right. So I'm getting it as close as possible because I want it to kind of wrap around, but I don't want it in the shot. So that's why I'm kind of adjusting here. Adjusting on Justin.
Hey.
All right, hey. All right, here we go. We're gonna do a test shot. We're still in TTL. So in theory, and I got real close, by the way. This is a close-up shot. All right, I'll leave a little more space. There we go. All right. Creamy.com. Look at that. Do not go there.
My new website.
I got to get my advertising in somehow. If you
Enjoy
want your
the
website
stream.
mentioned, please let me know.
Enjoy the stream while it's up. I don't know how long it's going to stay on this channel. Enjoy it, kids.
You can bleep that.
I should stop saying.
All right. Right. All right. So we've got this subtle separation. We got the umbrella going. Now we can start working with ratios here a little bit. So you can do this a lot of different ways. TTL will allow you to ratio stuff out. So I can look at the lights. Maybe I do notice Apple Box. Let's see. They're both at 0. So I could turn one light up or down, and that's in ratio to the other light. What's important is when you're making a change in TTL, it's not a change to the actual power, it's a change to the ratio, because every time you shoot your shot, the TTL recalculates. So if I take my C light and I just turn it up a bit so we get a little more punch out of that backlight, let's say 0.8. We can start bringing that up and get a little more punch. See how we got that? That's giving us some separation, but it still feels very natural, right? You almost don't notice it. It kind of feels like light would look in a room, kind of bouncing around. It's nice and even, right? All right, I'm feeling pretty good with this. We have 3 lights. Should we do 3 lights? We never do 3 lights.
If you got to make your rent, how else will you
That is true,
get
that's
more
true.
money if you don't set up more?
Yeah, it is true. We could do 1 more light. Okay, we have the beauty dish, I guess. Yeah, let's have a zoom reflector with a 10 no grids. Let's have a zoom reflector with no grid. Okay, we'll do a zoom reflector. So I'm going to kind of do what was mentioned earlier, just cheaper, because they were talking about giant softbox and Fresnel, I think. I haven't got that kind of stuff. I got umbrellas. The trick is your client doesn't know the difference. That's really the important part. As long as the image looks good, they don't care. 10 degrees. I felt like I was the Count from Sesame Street there for a second. 10. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, sorry about that. I thought I muted when I was coughing. I unmuted and then muted while I was talking. So you're welcome on YouTube. Okay.
Scared. Are you gonna talk me through this? Am I doing something wrong?
You're only
Yes,
scared
you are.
because you can't pay the bill, son.
All right.
You're only scared.
After this $27 Ford look.
He's over $100 already.
I know.
Crazy. My man's gonna actually get a meal tonight.
All right.
Chipotle.
No
not the
dollar
guac.
menu.
Anybody else?
No dollar menu for Dan tonight.
Nope, nope. That's it. That's
He's
it.
got $5 footlong money over here. This guy.
All right. So I'm not exactly doing what was suggested because there's not enough room and I don't feel like moving everything, so I'm too lazy. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to use this hard light, which is going to be this reflector here, zoom reflector as they call it, because you can zoom it, not because it was from a Zoom meeting when they came up with the idea. And it's got a grid on it too. So let's turn this guy on. This is going to be in the B group. And we're going to create kind of a punch. Now this could be terrible. Just going to say that right up front. This could be really bad. We're not going to make it bad, probably.
Okay.
All right, but it could be.
We can only hope, right, Dan?
Yeah. What we're going to do here is we're going to start here. We're going to reel this up one at a time. We got time. Okay, good. We're doing this perfect. So you're going to look right at the camera. We're going to create a nice, crispy light. Again, good to use words like crispy, Krispy Kreme, donuts. Like the time we went looking for the Krispy Kreme.
I don't know what vibe this is gonna come. I'm gonna give you something.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's trying to read that thing. There's a bunch of you in this chat, but not as many likes. So Dan needs to feel validated. His jokes need help.
Yes, they do.
I tell you what, maybe I'll leave the stream up if you guys all hit like. I'll tell you that right now.
Your face a little bit this way. A little this way.
This way.
Right there, perfect, yep. All right, so this is TTL, zoom reflector, 10 degrees, and I think nothing else if I did this right. Okay.
Whoa.
All right, so we got this punchy, it's all right, all right. It's good enough. All right, so,
All right, I see where you're going.
right, so we're going dramatic. Okay, yeah, so now let's do it with dramatic. All right, all right. There we go, much more dramatic.
Yeah.
Now-
the vibe you need.
Now we're going to incorporate our other lights into the picture. First, I'm going to start with the backlight because this light will just make everything, it will be done at that point. And again, you got to stay to the end of the video. Okay. Now we're firing two lights. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Look at that animated GIF.
A little hot on the key.
Huh? Like he went from Justin's kind of a good looking guy to, oh man, Justin works out, right? Because you got that boom. All right.
Daniel just learned what a GIF is today, so
Now,
he's very excited.
now here's the thing. We know, and again, the key is a little bit hot, as Seth said, purposefully, because we want it to pop up a little bit. We know that when we add this light though, that's going to make everything extra hot, right? Like, just like like my chicken, I guess. I don't know. All right, here we go.
I got.
All right.
All right.
Chipotle?
We're good.
All right,
Yeah,
okay, wait.
No, we're good. All right.
I thought you were going to get a joke out of this. Weird. All right, I'm going to turn this one down 0.7. Now, I would explain why, but it could be terrible, and I don't want to go through the whole explanation. That would be bad. So we're going to try it first, and then I'll tell you why. Okay, that was pretty good. So I wanted it down enough to fill in the shadow, right? About almost a stop down. And I knew that my light was a little bit hot. So I didn't go a full stop down. So now what we've got is this mixed light, right? We've got this, because remember, right? So, and we can control this any way we want, right? So here's this like punchy light, like, oh, I got this punchy light. And then we brought it down. Now I think the whole thing is hot. So, and because I think the whole thing is hot, I can grab my slider here and I can test that by bringing the whole thing down. Yeah, I think that's better. So now that's like 3/4 of a stop. I can go over here to my TTL and I'm gonna nope, that didn't work. I didn't even make it grab all of them. There is a way to grab all of them, but I can't remember how to do it. All right. I'm just gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna turn them all down 3/4 of a stop. So that was down 0.7. So I'm gonna add another, you know what? I'm just gonna go to manual because sometimes it's easier to do it that way. And I'm gonna turn them each down. The key light is at 4.4. So 3/4 of a stop is 3.8. B, which is my kicker, or my hard light, it's 5.1. So that's going to go down to 4.4. And the backlight is 5.9. That's going to go down to 5.2. I think that's right. Basic mathematics. Okay. And that should give us what we want. It's going to be dark. So remember, I left the setting on. There we go.
Kind of like even darker.
You like it even darker?
I don't know. There's something.
All right. Could be.
Break it a little bit.
Yeah. All right. All right. So that's right. I like this a little bit darker, but I feel like maybe the key's got to. No. You know, I'm gonna bring everything down. That's 0.2. Okay. I'm gonna bring the fill down again, which is A. So this light here. I'm gonna bring this down 3.3. I could throw a gel in it. I'm gonna bring the backlight down again 3. I'm gonna bring the bright light down only 0.2. Okay. This is called getting more money from your client because you spend a lot of time moving stuff around a little bit when you could do it in post. No, so now we've got this like very organic situational light, but it's not underexposed, right? It's like, it's got that vibe. Like you just ran into Justin and you forgot that you owed him that Chipotle money. And he's not happy, right? Yeah, exactly. That's right. All right, so we've got these lights, and part of this demo is just kind of showing you the variety of things that you can shoot with, but also that you don't always, could we do this with softboxes? I mean, kind of, maybe not exactly, but every light has their own quality, and just because you want soft light that's controlled doesn't mean you need a softbox. You can use umbrellas. You're going to get more of a spread, but you have some different variety with shoot through plus or silver and bounce. You can use hard lights like grids. You can use a beauty dish if you're doing beauty or Justin, right? All that works, and they're all just modifiers we can use to kind of reach the image that we have in our head, right? Because that's ultimately what it is, right? We're not just experimenting, we have an idea. We know what we want to get, and we get there with the lights. Throw a skirt? All right, I'm going to add a third of a stop to the shoot through umbrella, which is A. Okay. There we go. Opened up a little bit. Too much. Okay. We can play around, bring it down a little bit. And the thing is, when you do have a very specific shot you're trying to nail, this is what you do, right? You work your way through it. And man, we used to do it with Polaroids. up 2/10, down 4/10. Look at the Polaroids, be like, which one? And now we can do it digitally, so we can really get it tight where we want it, but just by doing this. Oh, he's busting out gels. We got like 5, because Justin's got to roll.
Oh, you got to get out of here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. We'll try. What do you got?
What do you want to do? Don't worry.
Like a beauty gel? Or are you talking about color?
You got 3 lights going on there, but I think that you could either gel the shoot through, which is the fill on his right side, or you could gel that backlight and give him an atmosphere. So,
what do you guys think? Atmosphere? All right.
You guys want to do the backlight or the fill light? Backlight, raise your hands. Fill light, raise your hands. Oh man.
No, I think back one. All right.
All right. So do cool or warm tone. Cool tone, raise your hand. Warm tone, raise your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care. You just want to get out of here. Raise your hand.
How come Eric raised his hand?
What do we do? Warm tone or cool tone?
I don't know. Warm.
You want to do pink?
Yeah. These aren't the official Profoto gels, so if this isn't good, you know why.
Like a coral.
This is 1/10 coral. In the 80s, I had a pair of Converse that were this color. All right, so we're just going to warm this up a little bit now. It will eat some light. Remember, I switched to manual. So, third of a stop, maybe? Half stop. Okay, so I'm going to give that light half stop more power. And again, we can do this. I'm using the remote control. All of these Profoto lights operate in tenths of a stop. So if you're at 5.2 and you need to go up 3/10 of a stop, you just move up to 5.5. Keep in mind, though, that this light here is 100 watt seconds. This light is 500 watt seconds. So 5.3 on that is not equal to 5.3 on this. Okay? It's all within individual heads. Okay, so let's see what we got. Huh?
Night and day, guys. I'm floored. I kind of want to see it on the fill.
On the film.
Yeah,
I
I
think
wanna
so
see it on the
too. I
film.
think it's just that just makes it we lose a little bit of the specularity. It almost
Do
feels
anything.
like.
I think the fill will give it more.
Because remember, even though it looks like this is our key light, it's not, right? The key light is truly that grid. So this is just a fill light. This is actually underexposed. And in fact, I'm going to leave it at the same setting. Well, actually, I'm going to turn down that light back where it was. Oh, now I figured out how to turn them on at once. You press it real quick. I think that's where it was. All right. We're just going to see what it does, then we'll make an adjustment.
Not too much.
Not much at all. Did we even put a gel on there? It's hard to know.
A little there. You can see a chest on his chest.
It's interesting. It actually almost opened up the shot more too.
Weird.
Did you move, Justin?
Where do you want me to go?
No, I said, did you move?
Oh, I don't know.
3 minutes
I
on
don't-
the clock, gents.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'm a professional. I'm a professional at standing still.
I think it's just such a tight shot on the lighting that it's not going to be a drastic change.
Yeah. Let me just try something.
Because
I'm
you're
gonna turn the B light
fills-
down a tiny bit, and I'm going to turn the fill light up a tiny bit. So again, I'm turning down the grid. I'm turning up the umbrella.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now we've got it. He's got a little bit of warmth in his skin and kind of like his neck area and or he did anyways. Now no more. We got the shot. Listen, sometimes you get the shot and then the gel moves away and you're done. That's how the world goes. So it was pretty good, right? Justin's awesome. These lights are awesome. You're awesome. That's going to say a bunch of stuff that's happening in the space because I never remember. No?
Right now?
Well, yeah, I was kind of closing.
Do your close off.
All right.
Because these people online,
They don't.
they're not even here right now. You're not even here right now. Why should I tell you what's going to happen?
All right, guys. Anyways, I hope this kind of just opened your mind to other things besides softboxes. I think that it's real quick and easy to grab a softbox, but sometimes you might want to consider, and again, it's not because, an umbrella is less expensive. That might be where you're at. Don't feel like you can't shoot if that's all you got. But also, what do they do differently? What's different between the umbrella and the softbox? The more of the spread, the heavy diffusion. What's different between using a beauty dish or a hard reflector or a grid? Why do we want to use these to build our shots? If I just put 3 softboxes here, would it look like this? No, right? Every light has its own vibe. So, mess around, try different things, and that's all I got to say. That's it. And, make sure you eat, drinks water, eat a good healthy meal, wear sunscreen.
Where can they follow Justin?
You can follow Justin.
You can follow me at Justin C. Schilling, SCHILLING. So
Right.
on Instagram, Facebook.
Since they can't really hear you, Justin C. Shilling on Instagram
Yeah.
Yep.
and Daniel Norton.
And I am Daniel Norton. This is Seth, last X witness. The X is silent.
All right, everybody clap so we can go home. We're all cringed out.